data center, they all have clouds, and they all monetize this cloud. So a cloud can be a real underlying asset that we can monetize out there as a RWA or a real world asset. So with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for being on with us. If you're live or you're on the recording, appreciate you guys jumping on and being here with us today. So as we know, let's start off with our disclaimer here. You guys can take a screenshot of this. I'm not going to go through every single detail. Just give you a second, take a screenshot of it, save it for later. What I will do is I'll go through this summary here really quickly. Much of what we'll be talking about today, guys, it will contain forward-looking statements. What is a forward-looking statement? It is essentially us as a project, us as entrepreneurs, projecting into the future, right? We're right now implementing certain strategies, certain technologies, and these things can change. So the world is ever changing, business is ever changing. Just understand anything that we say, we're talking a lot about future stuff, and things can change as we go along the way here with the business plan, okay? As well, we're not claiming to do any type of earning or income claims, and we cannot offer you financial advice, okay? And we will not be giving you any financial advice. Any of the digital rewards that we talk about today are to be used for utility purposes only. Codex has a great utility case, which we'll be talking about here over the course of the next few weeks and the next presentations, and as you get to know us more here at Codex, okay? DYOR, do your own research. This is kind of sometimes a no-brainer, but people forget this, right? I would say if you're here listening to me, a friend is inviting you, somebody's inviting you to take a look at Codex, make sure you do your own research, right? A lot of people have different perceptions of things. They look at things the way that they want to look at them, and you might look at them a little bit differently. It might not fit your lifestyle. It might not fit your risk appetite. So make sure you do your own research. As well, all the information that we share here today is for educational purposes. We say that because a lot of what we do is very innovative, and a lot of what we do is ever changing, like I said, with those forward-looking statements. So make sure you yourself are getting educated, understanding what blockchain is, how nodes work, how this ecosystem works, how Codex works. Because that's the next part of this, right? This organization is governed by what's called a DGF, a distributed governance framework. You could call it a DAO, if you will, as well. And that's where the node operators and the blockchain, well, the node operators own the network, okay? So that's what we want to talk about today, guys, is owning the cloud, okay? We've been using this hashtag, we own this, or we own it. And our message inside of Codex is the decentralized infrastructure layer of tech, okay? And when I say tech, it's because what's happening right now is cloud, AI, and blockchain are converging into one opportunity, right, for innovation. And so this is something that has never been done before. There's a lot of big tech companies out there trying to pull a lot of this stuff together, but I feel like we're way ahead of the curve here. So with that, guys, let's talk about the problem here, right? The problem that we have in today's tech world is you own infrastructure or use infrastructure we don't own, right? Every single day, every time you open up your phone, whenever you get on an app, whenever you store a photo, whenever you snap a photo and it syncs to your iCloud, your Google Photos, whatever it may be, you are using servers that you don't own, right? And this cloud storage, this compute, these digital services that we use are controlled by these big corporations like Amazon and Microsoft and Google, which is fine. We've come to be okay with the convenience. We've sacrificed our privacy for convenience, right? But it doesn't have to be that way, especially in the next 5 years, 10 years, as tech evolves. We have to understand that our privacy is going to matter more and more. And so decentralization is going to matter more and more. And I feel like that's why we're on the early stages of this digital wave that's coming forward here, right? So the problem is we're using infrastructure we don't own. We don't know where our photos are going. We don't know who's listening on our calls. We don't know if it's encrypted, not encrypted. We don't know who has backdoors to what, all this stuff that can happen in the tech world, okay? So that's the problem that we have. Now, what we're proposing at Codex is a different narrative, right? Built on a single powerful idea, and that the next phase of technology should be more widely owned, right? Right now, it is centralized, right? We see 3 big companies out there that have 80 maybe more than 80% of the market share. And that means they're controlling 80% of the data out there. There's 80% of the photos that are out there are controlled by 3 different companies. And people have given up, again, sacrificed their convenience, their privacy for convenience. Okay. So we're giving up our privacy because it's easy for us. And what we need to start thinking about is we need to stop being a passenger on that model, and we need to start participating in something different. Okay. And that's where the vision of Codex comes in. Infrastructure as ownership, not service, right? So in the traditional model, for those of you guys that don't know, it's kind of obvious. The corporations own the infrastructure, right? AWS is owned by Amazon. Google Cloud is owned by Google. And they have these devices out there, they have these data servers out there, and they're just collecting and monetizing your data, your information at scale. We hear about it all the time. It's been in congressional hearings out in Washington, D.C. about our privacy and tracking and all of these different things. And guess what? We're paying for that, right? We're paying, a lot of the times we're paying for these services. And then even when the service is not paid for, when it's a free service, we're giving up, again, our privacy, our data. And so they are capturing all that value, right? And the Codex model is different. The network runs through nodes. That's what we are. We're node operators. And then we as participants, we as operators, we own and operate the nodes, okay? And we become part of that infrastructure layer itself, right? So that shift is the heart of what Codex is, right? We're shifting from consumer to contributor, right? From a user to an owner, if you will. And that's a paradigm shift that I think a lot of people haven't really understood and haven't realized yet, is that when you become part of the infrastructure layer, you're now powering everything. What did I say a few minutes ago? Every single app that we use, this call right now, the great thing about what we're right now broadcasting on one of our sister brands here in this decentralized ecosystem. This studio is owned and operated by a decentralized node organization, okay? And that's Rally. And that's a great thing about what we have here, is that we can now build and help support other decentralized node networks as this grows, okay? So why now and why Codex? Well, like we said, cloud, AI, blockchain, they're all converging into one, right? It's all becoming this big opportunity for big tech again. And what we want to do is we want it to become, infrastructure right now is becoming more centralized and more centralized and more centralized, right? And we need to have the opposite message there, right? We need Codex as an entry point, because it is hard, guys. It's a heavy lift. It's a lot of capital investment from these corporations to get the technology, to get the hardware, to create the software, to create the AIs, to create the blockchains. It's a lot of money. And so us as average consumers, we don't have the power to get there, right? We don't have the financial muscle to get there, if you will. But if we come together as a decentralized community, that's where the power is, right? When you bring the people together, when you can organize the people to one common vision, to one common opportunity, and that's what Codex is pushing to be. And right now we're coming into this Web3 phase. And for those of you guys that don't know what Web3 is, it's infrastructure owner, it's ownership. It's digital ownership. It's owning the information that's out there. It's owning the data that's out there. Back in Web 1, back in the early 90s, we had read-only type of static websites, right? Companies would put their website out there. The information would be static and take you a very long time to get out there, but nothing got updated very much, right? And that's where Web 2 then came in. We had micro blogging sites, you had blogs come out, you have vlogs, you had social media that just kind of revolutionized, where we can now start putting these micro blogs, these micro posts out there, whether in text with Twitter or pictures with Instagram and Facebook. And then came all the video crazes with TikToks and Snapchats and all these things, right? Those are all Web 2 platforms. Well, what Web3 allows us to do is allows us to own that data, allows us to own that compute. It allows us to own the infrastructure and claim the rewards from it, right? All these rewards right now are going to, and when I say rewards in the sense of traditional, it's, all this revenue and all this value and all this money is going to these corporations. But with decentralization, we can really flip that model on its head, and we can say, hey, well, we're going to take all the value that we're creating as Codex, and we're going to give it back to our node operators. Okay, so the 3 pillars of decentralized power. This is where the core of what the Codex messaging is, right? Number 1, cloud hosting. Number 2, artificial intelligence. And number 3, blockchain nodes. So the great thing about Codex is we get to participate in every one of these pillars of decentralized power. So we at Codex, we have our Codex Cloud. We're able to host traditional services for companies if we want. We're able to monetize that, right? We're able to keep our data for ourselves as a community, as you, as an individual, as a node operator. As well as AI starts to grow and grow and grow and grow, it's going to become at one point a privacy issue. And that's where decentralized intelligence can come in, right? That's where our AI agents and our block bots and our droids and these other things can start to live inside of this decentralized ecosystem, and it can have opportunities to grow and learn outside of the big tech world, right? And all of this is made possible because of the blockchain nodes. So when you talk about nodes and we talk about blockchain, all the underlying tech of what we do here at Codex is based on blockchain nodes, and that node model allows us to have decentralized ownership. So for me, putting all this together, we're like, we take these 3 pillars, we put them together, we take these 3 technologies, cloud, AI, and blockchain, and we put them into one opportunity with Codex. And that's the opportunity that we have here with Codex. So as you own a node, you own the network. As you own the network, you own the infrastructure layer, okay? We as node operators, we're not customers, okay? They support validation, security, operations, and the entire ecosystem, okay? And this is where the relationship is fundamentally different as we grow and you understand a little bit more about what a node does. Well, what is a node, Joe? Let me answer that question real quick. A node, easily put, is a combination of hardware and software, but primarily the software, okay, that allows a network, okay, a larger ecosystem inside to use its compute, its memory, and its storage, okay? And as we as operators ensure that it has access to internet, it has access to electricity, it's working for us, right? These machines are working for us 24/7, and that's producing us a digital reward. So that is the Codex model there, okay? Node ownership provides digital rewards, okay? Digital rewards. Now, node operators, as this software is on these servers working for you, it's powering the network. We're contributing to the validation and securing the decentralized ecosystem, right? That in turn provides us some type of participation reward. In this case, we call them digital rewards, okay? You could call them tokens in the external world if you want to. Inside of this ecosystem, we call them digital rewards. Now, these digital rewards, they could have there's a lot of value inside of our ecosystem for utility purposes, but at the same time, there's a lot of value. There's value that can be generated in the external world as well, which we'll cover later on in other calls. But understand, guys, as the ecosystem grows, this is what I love about this, guys. Node owners are positioned at the core, not the edge. What does that mean? We are the centerpiece. We are the main focuses. We provide this initial compute and memory and storage to the network. As the network grows, as the cloud grows, as the AI grows, everything starts to expand and expand. So the growth exposure is phenomenal, right? Now, as I said in the introduction, all of this is governed by the DGF, or a distributed governance framework, or you can call it a DAO governance, if you will. And that's where we, as community node operators, we own that structure. That means we get to be a voice and a vote in how the network evolves and grows and builds, okay? So that's where we're at there. Now, how do you get started with Codex? It's honestly pretty simple. First, you're going to talk with the person that invited you here today, right? You're going to want to reach out to them this afternoon and say, hey, look, I saw that presentation. I might still have some questions. Can you answer these questions? But I do want to get involved, right? So at that point, you're going to choose what level and what product you want to get involved in. We have are full smart nodes that are thousands of dollars. We have builder packs that are thousands of dollars. We have light node bundles as well that could be a couple $100. You choose what level fits best for you. I don't know you personally, so talk with the person that invited you here. Figure out what level of product works for you. But we have something for everybody, right? We're working very diligently in Latin America, and down there we have packages starting at about $250 and packages ranging up to $5,000. But they can talk you through those details. Okay. You complete the purchase, okay, finalize the payment, onboarding, you accept the terms and conditions, and then you activate your node. Essentially, it says membership there, but your node, and that is by providing it hosting, okay, and that's exactly what we are. We have a Codex is a node hoster. If you want to host, I would definitely recommend to host with us. You're giving back to the ecosystem, but you activate that node that enables all of your DAO membership, that enables all of your features within your BlockBot operating system, within your back office, if you will, and you start earning digital rewards for providing that hosting, that electricity, and that compute to that node, okay? And that's what you do. And every single day, you can log in, you can see there will be some type of deposit for the rewards. You ensure that your node is online, and it's something pretty simple. Now, if you want to go make more rewards, right, there are things that you can do within our ecosystem. We work off of a consensus mechanism called proof of action. So what the DAO has done, what the community has done over the course of the last few years is they've created certain actions, okay, certain things that you can do in the real world that can provide value, or that do provide value to the community. And for providing that value, maybe it's helping somebody get started, maybe it's helping somebody make money, maybe it's operating your node, maybe it's owning a BlockBot. All of these things provide you what I call a better algorithm score, okay? And this algorithm score is now going to increase your distribution power. I use the quotation marks here, your mining power, okay? It's not technically a proof of work. This is a proof of action, but for those of you guys that are familiar with blockchain, they use this term mining. I use it in the sense of token distribution. You can increase your algorithm power, if you will, by participating in the proof of action. And that's just doing certain actions that the community has deemed are valuable to grow the overall community. And that's how you start earning. You can earn a baseline just for hosting, or you can go out there and participate in the proof of action. So that's all we got for this presentation for today, guys. Short and sweet, 20 minutes here. Understand where we're at in the world right now. Tech is growing faster and faster every day. AI is growing faster and faster every day. Companies are adopting blockchain faster every single day. They're wanting to get involved. I was actually just got an email from BlackRock is launching their digital assets trust, right? So everybody is getting involved in this, from Goldman Sachs to BlackRock to governments to states, people all over the world. So this isn't something that might happen. This is happening right now. And you have the opportunity to participate in the decentralized ownership of one of the largest, or what will be one of the largest decentralized cloud providers out there. So with that, guys, get back with the person that invited you here today. We're very excited that you're here. We'll get this recording sent out. So whether you're watching live, you're watching the recording, thank you guys so much. This has been our first presentation ever on the English side, and we look to grow this with you guys here on a weekly basis. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys, and I hope you guys have a phenomenal week.